Tonight, Central Ohio mourns the loss of a Morrow County deputy. This is a picture of 31-year-old Daniel Sherrer. He was shot and killed while responding to a domestic violence call. Deputy Sherrer was a 4-year veteran of the Morrow County Sheriff's Office, and this was his first job in law enforcement. Good evening. I'm Mike McCarthy.
And I'm Jessica Ralston. We have live team coverage tonight. Tom Bosco is taking a closer look at how Deputy Sherrer is being remembered. Kirsten Lindquist shows us what neighbors say they saw and why they are in disbelief. But first, court records revealing in vivid detail the violent, volatile situation that Deputy Sherrer found himself in. Shots had already been fired before he arrived on the scene.
Today, we learned bullets struck a neighboring home and a nearby truck as well. Investigators say Deputy Sherrer then encountered armed suspect Brian Wilson. Tonight, he is charged with aggravated murder, and we are learning what led to a shootout. The deadly confrontation happened at the porch of a Marengo home. It's where court records reveal Morrow County Deputy Daniel Sherrer's body camera recorded him first interacting with armed suspect Brian Wilson after 7:30 last night. This is Wilson's picture from a 2009 arrest. Records show a neighbor warned the deputy Wilson had already fired shots Monday night and said, quote, "If I was going to die tonight, I'd be okay with it." Records also reveal details of a conversation between Wilson and the deputy, with Wilson saying, quote, "Don't come up here," and, quote, "I'm not in the expletive mood." When the deputy tried to de-escalate the situation by talking with Wilson, Wilson said, quote, "I will expletive kill you." Then going on to say, quote, "I'm not expletive playing. You better just expletive go if you want your family to see you tomorrow," and continuing to tell the deputy to leave. Then court records show Wilson approached the steps near the deputy's location and a shootout occurred. Overnight, investigators searched the yard with a metal detector and cut into a wall, tracking down shell casings and more. The court records now detail at least 2 bursts of gunfire happened, with a definitive pause between them, and the deputy's body camera recorded the sounds of multiple clicks, consistent with a trigger being pulled, but a gun striking a fired cartridge or an empty chamber. Investigators found 2 guns believed to be fired by Wilson, a semi-automatic pistol and a revolver. Tonight, the Morrow County Sheriff is remembering Deputy Sherrer as a, quote, "great guy."
And someone who always had a smile on his face. Tom Bosco is live at the Morrow County Sheriff's Office tonight with the legacy he leaves behind. A truly tough day out there, Tom.
Yeah, a tough and emotional day, Mike and Jessica. You know, we've seen neighbors come by. You can check out this cruiser here behind us. They've come by dropping off flowers and mementos here on this cruiser. The emotion raw and real this morning as the sheriff had to tell us that one of his deputies was killed in the line of duty.
I don't even know what to say.
Sheriff John Hinton's voice broke a number of times during a news conference as he had to reveal to the public the name of the deputy shot and killed Monday night. 31-year-old Daniel Sherrer, shot and killed responding to a domestic violence call. He was trying to de-escalate the situation with a man who appeared to be ready to die. Here's what we know about Deputy Daniel Sherrer. He leaves behind his mother and father, who live nearby. He was serving in his first law enforcement job. The sheriff says he hired Sherrer in 2021, 4 years ago, and that the deputy was positive and upbeat.
Always had a smile on his face, never in a bad mood. He came to work every day. He loved this community. He loved the job.
Fellow deputies marked cruisers with black tape across the sheriff's star in honor of Sherrer. That as emotional neighbors began dropping off flowers.
Sorry. Just honoring the life of the deputy.
Did you know him personally?
No.
Philip Stanley was here, tying ribbons to the cruiser. Stanley's son works at the Morrow County Sheriff's Office and says Sherrer was highly thought of.
You know, he talked about, you know, how that the deputy was a good guy. You know, he's like, you know, we always talked to him, and he was like, you know, he was one of my favorite deputies. He said, you know, he just was a great guy, was always good to be around, and was always.
Now, this is the first time that a sheriff's deputy has died in the line of duty for this county here, and only the second time a law enforcement officer has died in Morrow County while doing his duties. That last time was in 1940. Sherrer's body right now is at the Montgomery County Coroner's Office in Dayton. At this point, we don't know of any plans for a procession from Dayton to Central Ohio or any funeral arrangements. Live on your side in Mount Gilead, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC6 News.
Tom, thank you very much. The shooting also devastated what is normally a very quiet neighborhood.
Tonight, so many are in shock, saying they cannot believe this happened on their street. Kirsten Lindquist is live there tonight, and Kirsten, neighbors say they never saw this coming.
No, it's been a hard day for these neighbors, Jessica and Mike. And in fact, there's a lot of car traffic that keeps coming down this street. In fact, there was so much car traffic and police activity from last night into this morning. Neighbors tell me their kids couldn't even go to school. Now, they're also telling me that Brian Wilson, the gunman, never caused any problems before Monday night.
Nobody deserved that. You know, and especially for the officer and his family, it's just hard.
Neighbors left in shock as a case of domestic violence leaves a Morrow County deputy dead.
And the wife was over here the whole time.
Kimberly tells me she knew Deputy Daniel Sherrer and the suspected shooter, Brian Wilson. She said behavior like this was uncharacteristic of Brian. Kimberly says gunfire isn't uncommon to hear in this neighborhood, but it's never been cause for concern.
Kids are target practicing, so we hear it all the time. We did not expect to hear or see what had happened.
Another neighbor took us inside her home. A stray bullet hole from across the street, now through her front window.
I still got glass down here I got to clean up.
That ricocheted off her fireplace and into her living room wall.
I'm just thankful we weren't here because we could have got shot.
And another bullet in her garage siding.
I think they tried to take the bullet out last night.
A tight-knit community where everyone knows each other.
Sad to hear something like this happen.
Now trying to pick up the pieces after tragedy hits their own backyard.
When you know somebody, but then you don't know the other side of them, it's rough.
Wilson was last said to be at Grant Medical Center in serious condition. The Delaware County Sheriff's Office is leading this investigation. And if you or someone you know is involved in a domestic violence situation, you are not alone, and help is available 24/7 for free. Dial 8788 at 8788. Dial start or begin to receive that domestic violence hotline help. For now, in Morrow County, live on your side, Kirsten Lindquist, ABC6 News.
We are learning more about the suspect's past. According to court records, he has a criminal history that dates back 30 years in Marion County. In September of 1994, he was charged with assault. In August of 97, he was charged in a case of domestic violence. In June of 2003, a disorderly conduct charge. He was convicted in each of those cases. Now, this is his mugshot from February 2009, when he was charged again with domestic violence. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge in that case.
Tonight, tributes for the fallen deputy are being shared from all across the state.
It's also serving as a reminder of the dangers every police officer faces every day to protect and serve. Here's Terry Sullivan.
As you can imagine, reaction is pouring in from all over the state, even the governor's office. Everyone offering condolences to Deputy Sherrer's family and his law enforcement family as well.
It reminds us how difficult it is to be a law enforcement agent, law enforcement officer. In this case, a deputy. He was responding to a domestic relations call. Those, sadly, many times are the most dangerous calls that an officer can make.
Governor DeWine offering his thoughts and prayers to Deputy Sherrer's family, and also ordering flags across the state to be flown at half-staff. Bucyrus Police said, "We see tragic news like this far too often, but when it happens too close to home, the pain hits differently." Sunbury Police say they stand by the Morrow County Sheriff's Office and are praying the deputy's service and sacrifice is never forgotten. The Hartford Village Police Department says this is the most dangerous type of call officers face. Our prayers go to the family and co-workers of the deputy. From the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, please join us in praying for the Morrow County Sheriff's deputy who was killed in the line of duty. We extend our deepest condolences to the deputy's family, friends, and the entire Morrow County Sheriff's Office. From Licking County, our hearts are heavy today. From all of us here at the Licking County Sheriff's Office, we extend our deepest condolences to the deputy's family, co-workers, and the entire Morrow County community. And from Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost, my heart is torn by the loss of yet another Ohio law enforcement officer who paid the ultimate sacrifice while protecting his community. We are forever indebted to those who lay down their lives for others. Terry Sullivan, ABC 6 News.
In this case, a deputy, he was responding to a domestic relations call. Those, sadly, many times are the most dangerous calls that an officer can make. And we just have to.
This is the second time a law enforcement officer has been killed in the line of duty in Morrow County. The last time was back in 1940. First responders are constantly going through new training to respond to a domestic violence call.
It's one of the most common calls, but as you heard the governor say, it's also some of the most dangerous. Tonight, Steve Levine is looking to find the steps that are taken to try to keep first responders safe.
Our cameras were there in February as Franklin County Sheriff's SWAT officers responded to this domestic situation in Groveport.
The domestic violence call is the most dangerous call that our officers are dispatched to.
Domestic violence among the most common calls law enforcement respond to on a daily basis. Last year, according to a BCI report, law enforcement across Franklin County responded to 8,437 domestic violence calls that resulted in 3,025 domestic violence charges and 438 other charges. No charges were filed in 4,974 cases.
Oftentimes our officers are going in blind, only knowing that it's a domestic violence situation. That's why we mandate all domestic violence runs be 2-deputy runs.
With a recent uptick in DV cases, how to handle domestic violence now more critical than ever. Besides the state-required training, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office goes beyond what is mandated, including de-escalation training, in-service training, scenario and role-playing exercises.
We're in a better off position, trained these days than we were 20 years ago. The problem in the community with domestic violence was still the same. It has risen year over year pretty much.
Columbus Police did not have anyone to talk with us on camera, but tell us CPD annual DV training is for all sworn personnel and includes 80 hours of in-service training for officers. This year, an additional 2 hours of DV training will be added, and a domestic response class for patrol officers is now in development. The Columbus Fire Department also training to handle domestic violence calls.
Unfortunately, we can't train for everything. We can't script everything, but that's why it's so important that we make sure we're sending the right resources to the right calls at the right time.
Tragedies like what happened Monday night, a reminder. The need is there to always be prepared.
There's no textbook domestic violence run that you go to, which probably also lends a little bit to the reason why they're so dangerous.
On your side, Steve Levine, ABC 6 News.
If you are in a relationship involving domestic violence or you know someone who is, as we've been telling you here tonight, help is out there. You can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233 or text the word START or BEGIN to 88788. It's available 24/7.